Good morning. Let's get real for a moment. You want success? You want growth? You want to wake up and feel like you're living life on your terms? Then you have to work on yourself daily, not once a week, not when it's convenient, and definitely not just when life knocks you down. Every single day is an opportunity to sharpen your mind, strengthen your character, and elevate your future. Mindset is the silent architect of every success story. It's the invisible force that determines how we interpret the world, how we respond to challenges, and how we show up in the face of uncertainty. Mastering your mindset means learning to take control of your internal dialogue, the thoughts that run on loop in your head from the moment you wake up to the moment you fall asleep. These thoughts shape your beliefs, and your beliefs shape your actions. When you start to shift your mindset intentionally, everything else begins to shift with it. The quality of your life is directly tied to the quality of your thoughts. If you constantly allow negativity, self-doubt, or fear to take the wheel, you will always find yourself driving toward outcomes that reflect those emotions. But when you train your mind to seek solutions, to focus on growth, and to believe in possibility, you begin to break free from limitations. This isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing a perspective that serves your goals instead of sabotaging them. Daily mindset work isn't optional, it's essential. Just like the body needs movement and nourishment, the mind needs consistent training. One of the most powerful practices is becoming aware of your inner voice. What do you say to yourself when no one else is around? Do you lift yourself up or do you tear yourself down? Awareness is the first step to change. When you catch yourself spiraling into negativity or doubt, pause and redirect. Replace the thought with one that empowers you, even if it feels unfamiliar at first. Affirmations can be a powerful tool in this process. Speaking words of confidence, strength, and clarity into your day can help reshape your internal narrative. These aren't magic phrases, they're declarations that train your brain to believe in your potential. The more you repeat them, the more your subconscious begins to accept them as truth. Pair this with visualization, and you have a powerful 1-2 punch. When you consistently see yourself achieving your goals, handling challenges with grace, and becoming the version of yourself you admire, you start to embody those qualities in real life. Mindset mastery also means choosing how you react to setbacks. Challenges are inevitable, but your response is always within your control. A growth mindset sees obstacles as opportunities. It asks, what can I learn from this? Instead of, why is this happening to me? That shift in thinking changes the emotional charge of the moment. It moves you from victimhood to ownership. It keeps you grounded in progress, even when things feel heavy. Surrounding yourself with positive influences plays a huge role in shaping your mindset. The books you read, the conversations you have, and the people you interact with all feed your thoughts. Choose your inputs carefully. If you want to think like a winner, expose yourself to the energy, the ideas, and the wisdom of those who already operate at that level. Let their mindset become your mirror. Purpose is the engine behind every meaningful action. When you're connected to a clear sense of purpose, you move through life with direction instead of drifting. Each day becomes intentional instead of accidental. Purpose doesn't just give you a reason to wake up, it gives you a reason to stay focused, to push through resistance, and to keep going even when progress feels slow. It's the internal compass that keeps you aligned with your goals and your values, even in the face of distractions, setbacks, or uncertainty. Working on your purpose daily means reconnecting with your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why does it matter to you? Why is it worth the sacrifice, the struggle, and the discomfort? These are questions that need to be answered again and again. Purpose isn't something you discover once and forget. It's something you choose to reconnect with every day so that your actions are fueled by meaning rather than habit. One way to strengthen your connection to purpose is to write it down. Keep a sentence or a phrase somewhere visible on your phone, your mirror, your desk that reminds you what you're working toward and who you're becoming in the process. When your purpose is front and center, decision-making becomes clearer. You're less likely to waste time on things that don't align with where you're headed because you've trained yourself to ask, does this serve my purpose? Purpose also brings resilience. On the hard days, the days when motivation disappears and everything feels heavy, it's your sense of purpose that keeps you grounded. It reminds you that growth isn't always comfortable and success isn't always exciting. Some days are quiet, some days are filled with doubt. But when you know your purpose, you learn to move through those moments with patience and persistence. You don't quit because you don't feel like it. You keep going because the mission matters more than your mood. Purpose gives ordinary tasks extraordinary meaning. The small, repetitive actions that might seem insignificant on the surface suddenly become powerful when they're tied to a larger vision. Every rep in the gym becomes part of building strength. Every page you read becomes part of sharpening your mind. Every hour spent learning, planning, or practicing becomes part of your evolution. Purpose transforms routine into ritual. It turns effort into investment. Staying connected to your purpose also helps you stay authentic. In a world full of noise, trends, and comparisons, it's easy to lose yourself. But when you know your purpose, you don't chase validation. You don't need to fit into someone else's version of success. You move with confidence because you're aligned with your truth. You know what matters to you, and you're willing to protect it at all costs. Purpose is not just about achieving big goals. It's about who you become in the process. It's about showing up with heart, intention, and integrity. When you live with purpose, you don't just go through life, you grow through life. You learn, you evolve, and you inspire others to do the same just by being committed to something greater than comfort or convenience. Health is the foundation upon which everything else in life is built. Without it, goals lose their spark, energy fades, and focus disappears. When your body isn't functioning at its best, it becomes harder to think clearly, stay motivated, or show up powerfully. That's why prioritizing your health isn't just about looking good, it's about living well, performing well, and becoming your best self on every level. Working on your health every day means treating your body like the asset it is, not like an afterthought. The first step to daily health improvement is movement. You don't need an intense gym session to make progress. A walk, a stretch, a few minutes of body weight exercises, all of it adds up. Movement keeps your blood flowing, your mind sharp, and your energy steady. It's not about perfection or performance. It's about staying in motion, reminding your body that it was built to move, not to sit stagnant for hours on end. Even on the busiest days, taking time to move is a non-negotiable if you're serious about long-term growth. Fueling your body with the right foods is another daily practice that can't be ignored. What you eat literally becomes part of you. It feeds your brain, fuels your muscles, and affects your mood. Eating clean, whole foods gives you stable energy and sharp focus. It helps regulate your sleep, your digestion, and your emotional balance. You don't have to follow a strict diet to be healthy. You just need to be intentional. Hydrate, nourish, and be mindful of what you consume. Your body will always reflect what you repeatedly give it. Rest and recovery are also vital components of health. Sleep isn't a luxury, it's a strategy. It's during sleep that your body repairs, your mind resets, and your nervous system finds balance. Skipping rest in the name of hustle only leads to burnout, not success. Learning to prioritize quality sleep, downtime, and self-care is a form of discipline. It means you value your energy and understand that growth happens when you allow yourself to recharge, not when you grind yourself into exhaustion. Mental health plays just as crucial a role as physical health. You can be in great shape physically, but completely depleted emotionally or mentally. That's why checking in with yourself, managing stress, setting boundaries, and giving yourself space to breathe are all essential. Meditation, journaling, time in nature, or even simple moments of stillness throughout the day can bring you back into balance. Taking care of your mind is not weak, it's wise. It shows you respect yourself enough to manage what's going on beneath the surface. Working on your health every day isn't about extreme sits, about consistency. It's about creating rituals that support the person you want to become. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be intentional. Your health affects how you think, feel, and perform. Every decision you make about your body is a decision about your future. When you treat your health like it matters, everything else in your life starts to align with greater clarity, strength, and purpose. Focus is the force that separates progress from distraction. In a world filled with endless notifications, noise, and attention-grabbing content, the ability to lock in and direct your energy toward what truly matters is a skill and one that must be sharpened every single day. Without focus, even the most talented minds become scattered. Without focus, goals remain dreams, and actions lose momentum. But when focus is dialed in, even the simplest efforts begin to compound into something powerful. The first step in mastering focus is clarity. You can't stay focused on something that isn't clearly defined. What are you trying to accomplish today? What are the top 3 things that will move the needle forward? Focus begins with decisions, deciding what matters most and giving it your full attention. The more decisions you avoid, the more time you waste on things that don't align with your vision. Clarity cuts through the clutter and points your energy in the right direction. Eliminating distractions is an everyday battle. Your phone, your inbox, social media, noise from other people's opinions, they're all pulling at your attention, trying to steal your time. If you don't create boundaries, you'll be reactive all day instead of intentional. Set up your environment so that focus becomes easier. Turn off notifications, close extra tabs. Create physical or digital spaces where deep work happens without interruption. The fewer decisions you have to make about your surroundings, the more energy you can give to the work itself. Another powerful way to cultivate focus is to schedule it. If it's not in your calendar, it's probably not getting done. Block out time for deep work, time for learning, time for execution, and guard that time like it's sacred. Let others know when you're unavailable. Let yourself know that those blocks of time are non-negotiable. Respecting your own time is the first sign that you're serious about your goals. Mental focus also means staying present. When your mind is constantly drifting to the past or future, you lose effectiveness in the moment. Mindfulness practices, whether it's meditation, breathing exercises, or simply bringing awareness back to the task at hand, help build the muscle of mental presence. This doesn't mean you'll never get distracted again. It means you'll notice it quicker and return your attention with more ease. Focus is also about emotional discipline. It's easy to get pulled into drama, frustration, or discouragement when things don't go as planned, but emotional reactions are costly. They steal time, energy, and mental bandwidth. Practicing emotional control helps you stay locked in on the task without being derailed by temporary feelings. You begin to respond instead of react. You work with clarity instead of chaos. Working on your focus daily is not about being busy, it's about being effective. You can spend hours working and accomplish very little if your attention is scattered. But 1 hour of clear, focused work can do more than a whole day of multitasking. The more you train your focus, the more control you gain over your results. The more you protect it, the faster you move toward your goals. Discipline is the foundation that holds everything together when motivation fades. It's the quiet commitment to doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. It's the voice in your head that says, get up, when your body says rest, and keep going when everything around you says stop. Discipline is not about being harsh or robotic. It's about being devoted. It's a form of self-respect, of honoring your goals with consistent action, and it must be practiced every single day if you want to build anything meaningful or lasting. Discipline begins with small choices. It's waking up when your alarm goes off the first time. It's resisting the urge to check your phone before you've even taken a deep breath. It's choosing water over soda, silence over excuses, work over procrastination. The truth is, most people know what they need to do, they just don't do it consistently. That's where discipline separates the dreamers from the doers. Every choice you make is a vote for the kind of person you are becoming. And when those votes are cast in favor of discipline, they begin to compound. Daily discipline builds trust with yourself. Every time you follow through on a promise, no matter how small, you reinforce your own integrity. You begin to see yourself as someone who gets things done. That identity is powerful because it shapes how you carry yourself in every area of life. If you keep breaking promises to yourself, your confidence erodes. But when you consistently follow through, you walk taller, you speak with conviction, and you make bolder moves, not because you're fearless, but because you've proven to yourself that you show up no matter what. Discipline also protects your time and energy. It teaches you to say no to distractions, to push past the initial resistance, and to stay focused on what matters. You don't wait to feel ready, you act. You don't let your emotions dictate your actions. You let your commitments guide your behavior. This is how momentum is created. And momentum, once built, becomes a powerful force that drives results faster than motivation ever could. Building discipline requires structure. Routines, systems, and clear boundaries help you stay on track when willpower runs low. The goal isn't to restrict your life, but to free your mind from decision fatigue so that you can focus your energy on execution. When your day is designed with discipline in mind, success becomes less about guesswork and more about rhythm. You don't wake up hoping to have a productive day. You've already planned for it. Discipline is a long game. It's not always exciting. There are no fireworks or applause when you wake up early, study for an hour, or turn down temptation. But those moments build something far more valuable than instant gratification. They build character. They build habits that last. And they build a version of you that can be trusted with big goals because you've mastered the small ones day after day. The environment you live and operate in has a direct and powerful impact on your growth, your energy, and your mindset. Whether you're aware of it or not, your surroundings influence your behavior, shape your beliefs, and either pull you closer to your goals or slowly drag you away from them. That's why building an environment that supports your vision is not a luxury, it's a necessity. You become a reflection of what you consistently see, hear, and feel around you, so curating your space and your circle is an act of self-mastery. Start with the people you allow into your life. The energy they bring will either lift you up or weigh you down. If you surround yourself with people who are constantly negative, stagnant, or unmotivated, it becomes harder to stay focused and driven. But if you spend time with those who challenge you, push you, and support your growth, your standards begin to rise naturally. Relationships either nourish your ambition or deplete it, so choose wisely. You don't need a massive network, you need a powerful one. Even one person who believes in you, supports your vision, and lives with purpose can shift your entire perspective. Your physical space matters just as much. The environment you wake up in sets the tone for your day. Clutter, disorganization, and chaos in your surroundings often lead to mental fog and emotional stress. On the other hand, a clean, intentional space invites clarity, focus, and peace of mind. Design your space to support the habits you're trying to build. If you want to read more, keep books within reach. If you want to journal, keep your notebook visible. Make it easy to succeed by removing friction and building triggers that guide your behavior in the right direction. The digital space you consume daily also plays a huge role in shaping your mindset. The content you watch, the posts you read, the accounts you follow, these things are feeding your brain non-stop. Just like junk food affects your body, junk content affects your thinking. Be intentional about what you allow into your mind. Follow people who inspire, educate, and motivate you. Unfollow or mute content that drains your energy or fuels comparison and insecurity. What you consume becomes what you create, so protect your mental diet the same way you protect your physical one. Noise is another part of your environment that needs to be managed. Constant noise, whether it's literal background sound or the metaphorical noise of expectations, opinions, and distractions, can keep you from hearing your own voice. Create space for silence, space to think, space to reconnect with your vision without the influence of everything outside of you. Some of your most powerful insights come not when you're hustling, but when you're still enough to listen. Building the right environment is not about control or perfection, it's about alignment. It's about removing the things that drain you and doubling down on the things that fuel you. When your environment is designed for growth, you don't have to fight it every day just to stay on track. You move with more ease, more purpose, and more clarity because everything around you is working with you instead of against you. Vision is what gives direction to action. Without a clear vision, it's easy to fall into routines that feel busy but lead nowhere. Vision is not just a dream or a hope, it's a vivid picture of your future that guides your behavior in the present. It gives meaning to sacrifice, structure to goals, and strength to keep pushing through discomfort. When you hold a strong vision in your mind, it becomes a magnet that pulls you forward, even when the path isn't easy. It becomes a silent force behind every choice, every habit, and every decision. Working on your vision every day is about keeping that mental image alive and sharp. It's about seeing your future self clearly, what you look like, how you think, how you move, and what you've accomplished. The more clearly you can see it, the more real it begins to feel, and the more likely you are to align your actions with it. Visualization isn't fantasy, it's mental conditioning. It programs your subconscious mind to search for opportunities, resist distractions, and lean into challenges with purpose. Your vision sets the tone for your standards. When you know what kind of life you're building, you naturally raise the bar on how you treat your time, your body, your relationships, and your work. You stop settling. You start evaluating everything with the question, does this move me closer or further from where I want to be? That kind of clarity changes your behavior. It makes you more disciplined, more decisive, and more intentional about how you spend your energy. Reviewing your vision daily helps you stay emotionally connected to your goals. Emotions drive behavior far more than logic. So if you only write your goals once and never revisit them, the emotional charge fades. But if you reflect on your vision every morning, even for a few minutes, it reignites your passion. It reminds you why you're choosing structure over comfort, why you're staying focused when it would be easier to coast, and why you're embracing the hard work that others avoid. A clear vision gives you something to believe in during the moments when belief is hard to find. Vision also acts as a filter. With so many opportunities and distractions competing for your attention, it's easy to lose focus. But when you have a compelling vision, you start to say no more often. You stop trying to do everything and start doing only what matters. You stop chasing every trend and start building something that's uniquely yours. Vision isn't just about seeing the end result. It's about knowing which road to take and which ones to avoid. The power of vision is not just in what it inspires you to do, but in what it inspires you to become. It calls you forward into a higher version of yourself. It challenges you to stretch beyond your comfort zone and develop the character, habits, and mindset that your future will demand. A strong vision makes you brave enough to take risks, patient enough to trust the process, and grounded enough to keep showing up no matter how long the journey takes,